As the dust continues to settle and as we tally the results from our recent and record-breaking 2023 Sheep Show in Reno, two thoughts come top of mind. First, thank you, and second, wow. On behalf of a grateful, tireless, and hardworking staff and our board of directors, I want to extend a personal and heartfelt thank you to all of our exhibitors, donors, sponsors, auction and raffle buyers, appeal donors, convention volunteers, members, and guests for helping to make the 2023 Sheep Show another mind-blowing success. The altruism and exceptional generosity of the Wild Sheep family never ceased to amaze and inspire me. The buzz leading up to, during, and well after the show meant everything to me personally, as well as to our small staff that quite frankly did the work of a small army. I also want to congratulate all of our hunt and prize winners, our 4 Less Than 1 Club sheep and 3 Less Than 1 I Club chamois hunt winners. What a fabulous and energetic event that was. Our Life Member Breakfast Desert Sheep Hunt winner, our Bernie Fieldy 1 More for 4 Desert Sheep Hunt winner, and our many Sheep Show, evening banquets, ladies luncheon, Life Member, and special raffle winners. There were a whole lot of smiles and happy members in Reno last month. As I noted in my opening address at Wednesday's grand opening and my closing address at Saturday's grand finale gala, WSF strives to be impactful to the wild sheep resource and relevant to our mission, purpose, and our community. The Sheep Show is both an annual reminder of this promise and a kickoff to a new year delivering on these promises. The records you all helped us break in 2023 were many and incredible. Record Sheep Show raffle sales, record banquet attendance, and likely record expo hall attendance. A new record of nearly $1 million in convention sponsorships, including a record $350,000 raised in appeals for our Take One, Put One Back, Ram Layaway, 1 More for 4, and Women Hunt programs, as well as the Working Dogs for Conservation initiative, with 100% of these donor direct dollars going to the programs of the donor's desire. And then there were our auctions. Our live auctions were off the chart, including the conservation permit dollars raised for our state, provincial, tribal, and First Nation agency partners. These set a new record with more than $4.89 million raised, including an incredible 9 new state and tribal permit records. Wow, indeed. Now, breaking records is nice, but more important, these records represent our collective ability to continue to positively advance wild sheep conservation and management actions into the future. After all, at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. Speaking of wild sheep, for our 2022-23 fiscal year, WSF budgeted more than $2.6 million in conservation grant and mission programs from just our operations budget alone. This 2023 convention success will enable WSF to fund more than $1.25 million in conservation grant and aid to 15 vetted and approved projects, like the $350,000 in grants to British Columbia for stones and bighorn sheep programs, the $177,000 to bighorn trap, test and remove programs in Idaho, Oregon, and Washington, $152,000 to the ION initiative as a catalyst for California bighorn restoration in Idaho, Oregon, and Nevada, and additional hundreds of thousands of dollars to other exceptional programs in the West and Mexico, and including another $50,000 to the promising Working Dogs for Conservation program to help sniff out MOV in both wild and domestic sheep. The dollars you helped us raise in Reno will fund the remaining $1.4 million mission program's budgeted balance that includes funding more than $360,000 in support of our guide outfitters and industry partners, hundreds of thousands of dollars to disease research, advocacy work in Washington, D.C., and state and provincial governments, hands-on youth education programs and scholarships, pro-hunting public relations campaigns in Canada, Mexico, and the USA, as well as our conservation work in Central Asia and advocacy efforts with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, CITES, and IUCN to ensure the sustainable use of wildlife and wild sheep is recognized and appreciated by these important bodies, and our members' trophies can be exported and imported to their respective countries to encourage the conservation benefits of hunting. Speaking of making an impact, our youth education programs to date have directly touched the lives of more than 105,000 young people. From just this past sheep show alone, if you saw the kids in the expo hall following the animal tracks on the floor and wearing sheep horn hats, another record 1,835 kids in 3 days went through 42 outdoor skills and learning stations taught by an astounding 293 volunteer instructors. Kudos to our education program coordinator, Dr. Ryan Brock, for his tireless and impactful efforts. Of the record $4.89 million in conservation permits dollars raised, WSF will direct the typical 90 to 100% of those dollars back to state, provincial, tribal, and First Nation agencies to fund their wild sheep and wildlife programs. The remaining 10% we receive for administrating the sale of these permits also goes to helping us fund the nearly $2.7 million in mission programs I've noted. All in all, WSF expects to direct nearly $7 million this fiscal year to wild sheep conservation, research, education, advocacy, and other mission programs. Our 5th year in a row of directing more than $6 million annually to the wild sheep resource and programs benefiting them and their habitat. You all made this happen. Our promise to you is we will put these resources to work for wild sheep on your behalf. In closing, I'm reminded of something Babe Ruth once said: yesterday's home runs don't win today's games. Even before we all left Reno, our staff and I, as well as our board of directors, were busy taking notes and making plans for an even better show in 2024. We pride ourselves on always improving and innovating, and we're excited to share with you soon what we've come up with for next January. Finally, thank you again for exhibiting, for your donations, your sponsorships, your bids, your gifts, your participation, your membership, and for your unmatched support. You all came for the sheep, and you stayed for the party. Thank you all for being a part of our wild sheep family.